Today we come together, not because it's easy, because it's definitely not, but because we hope to share some light in a dark time. Tonight, all of us stand united, not just the Madden community, the entire gaming community, like a family. We unite here to pay tribute, to celebrate the lives of the fallen, to pay our respects to the victims, their families, and their friends, and to try and lift up everyone else who has been affected. Elijah True Boy Clayton and Taylor Spot Me Please Robertson. This community, our community, will continue to keep you in our hearts, and your memories will live on forever. We are also thinking about those that survived but were wounded. George Fitzmagic Amadeo, Timothy O. Larry Anselimo, Dalton Dat Boy Dirty Kent, Alex Mandunik, Jacob Scuba Jake Mittich, Tony Vitek Montagnino, Taylor Poindexter, Darren Duffelbag Boy Cruz, Chris Dubby McFarland, Tolliver Shift God Cole Lynch, and Drini Joka. Whether you were physically injured or not, everyone who was in that venue will carry the burden of their traumatic memories for the rest of their lives. This is a group of people forever linked by the sadness of August 26th. But they will also be united by our respect for their strength, their reactions, and their perseverance. We also want to recognize the heroes of that day, players, fans, and families who risked their own lives to safeguard others. People like pro gamer Ronald Cyrus the Virus Casey, who used his own 6-foot frame to shield others from the gunfire. George Amadeo's father, George Sr., who laid his own body across his wounded son in the ultimate display of parental love. Dennis Evil Ken Alston, who led others to barricade a restroom door to protect themselves. And Jordan Williams, who remained by our friend Larry Legend's side through everything, bandaging Larry and comforting him during the chaos. To each of these people and the many others whose stories have not been told yet, we say, you are the heroes. You exemplify courage and fortitude in the face of adversity. We're not going to pretend like we have all the answers. Everyone has to process their own grief and anger in their own time, but right now, we need to come together to keep pushing forward. The people here in this room, the gaming industry, and everyone watching online is a part of this. And together, we can build an even stronger and even more closely knit community. Tonight, this Jacksonville Tribute brings together everyone who loves to game everywhere in the world, united to contribute and demonstrate what the gaming community is truly all about. Now, please join me in a moment of silence as we honor Elijah True Boy Clayton and Taylor Spot Me Please Robertson.
Spot Me Please Robertson, the one that is making the huge defensive plays. You know, he said that he was here to play this game for the future of his family.
First off, I'm a family man. My wife, Holly, and my son, Reed. I'm a credit analyst at a bank, so I have a full-time job outside of Madden.
Over the course of the last 2 seasons, Eli True Clayton, he's been one of the most consistent players in the game.
I would say my biggest supporter is my family, of course, but I would say my mom and my little brother, his friends, know that I play and they watch me, and it's just crazy, like how much support I've got from my family and within my community.
As news of the shooting spread around the world, an overwhelming response emerged. People started asking, how can we help? What can we do, and how can we support? Well, the first thing that you can do is simply share this live stream. You can also support by contributing what you can here. Every dollar counts, every personal story counts. We're asking you to share your personal stories as members of the gaming community with the hashtag #WhyWePlay. Now joining me right now is an EA employee, Mike Scantleberry. Mike, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you. I want to start off by saying you were in Jacksonville. You know this community so well. You know these tournaments so well. What was the mood on that day when you were in Jacksonville?
Yes, Dave, I was there. I walked out just minutes before the tragic events took place. When I left the room, I can vividly remember everyone was having fun. People were joking around with each other, laughing. No one could have imagined what would take place that day was about to happen. No one could have seen it coming.
Yeah, like you said, that spirit of camaraderie and community there, like at every Madden tournament. Now with what happened the day of and the response from the community, not just the Madden community, but the gaming community afterwards, how do you make sense of all that, given your perspective on this?
Honestly, I feel you don't make sense of it. It was a cowardly act of senseless violence. And one message I want to get across is that we will never allow any evil act to deter us from doing what we've done for many years, which is give people a way to have fun with their families, with their friends, give them a release from their daily lives, give them a way to have that camaraderie and, give them something fun, bring true joy to the millions of people who play our game. That will not stop.
Absolutely. And moving forward, we're going to be stronger together than we ever would be apart. To that point, kind of moving forward as a community, what can we do to get ourselves moving forward as a unit together?
Well, it's tough, but I'm going to ask, please, do not let this heinous act be how we remember these incredible young men who lost their lives in Jacksonville. Remember them for the energy that they brought to the Madden community. Remember them for the joy that they were to be around. You do not define a person by how they handle winning. You define them by how they handle loss. And there is no greater loss than the loss of life. But it is how we handle this loss that will define us.
That's so well said, Mike. I want to thank you for being here and sharing your experience and being an active part of this community.
Can I mention one more thing?
Of course, absolutely.
I just want to say you made mention of the individuals who committed true acts of heroism on that day. And it's so often in these tragedies that these heroic acts get overlooked. And I thank you for not overlooking that and making mention of it, for people to shield other people, put themselves in harm's way, protect children, barricade the bathroom door, help the wounded outside to receive emergency care, and to, apply pressure to wounds so people did not bleed out. Truly amazing. I just want to echo that sentiment that you said at the beginning, and I just want to say that people will go to great lengths to help their fellow man, and that's not going to change.
So well said.
So thank you, and thank you to everyone who has contributed in any way, shape, or form to this wonderful event today.
I think the term hero gets thrown around a lot in today's day and age, and I think that the people we described and who you're talking about are real, true heroes, and I couldn't agree more, and going to thank them. As we all grappled with this news coming out of Jacksonville, something really special started to happen online. People across the gaming community joined together using the hashtag #WeAreMadden. It was spontaneous, and it was the kind of reaction from the community that went far beyond a single game or any one platform. It was an outpouring of support that revealed the absolute best of the industry and its fans. It was something special that I know everybody appreciates. Any word of encouragement, any sign of support is appreciated. Now, We have heard loud and clear since the shooting how much playing meant to True and Spot Me. These guys were competitors, and the competition and community brought them both a lot of joy. They are not alone. We reached out to our community and we asked them why they play. Here's what they said.
I play because no matter how good or bad things get, we as a community come together and we surround ourselves with people that make us laugh and most importantly, make us have a great time.
I think it's really important after the tragedy that we had that as a community we really come together and we support the victims, and I think show everybody how strong the gaming community is, and we're not going to let something like this, scare us.
The Madden community over the past couple of weeks to days has rallied together absolutely insanely. It's been awesome to watch from my point of view, being on just the outside but still a part of the gaming community as a whole. I'm in FIFA, but we are Madden.
Having that community be positive and knowing that it's a positive community is really important, especially going forward with how important gaming is, or how prominent gaming is right now.
I play because I've always been passionate about video games, even when I was a toddler. It's a way for me to get away from real life issues now, relax, interact with people all over the world, and build friendships with.
I think the next steps for us guys is just look around. This is your family. These are your people. Look out for each other. Let's be better to everyone that we play with in the future. I think that should be all of our goal moving forward.
I'm here now with someone you probably recognize as one of my co-hosts and sideline reporter, Adrienne Lawrence. Adri, so good to see you.
Thanks so much. I'm glad to be here, as unfortunate as the circumstances are.
It's a community, and we're all a part of it. Now, joining the two of us now, part of the larger gaming community, two people who cover gaming. We have Kat Bailey, who's an editor for USGamer.net, and Jeff Neely, guy who's been writing about the industry since he was a teenager, also the creator of the Game Awards. Kat, Jeff, we really, really appreciate you guys being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kat, I'm going to start with you. We've been talking a lot about community, about hearing the word community, what that means to different people. What do you think makes the gaming community so special and so unique to see the type of response that we've seen after this tragic accident?
Well, I think the gaming community is universal in so many ways. I mean, in our society, we're divided by class lines, by who we are, like race, country, whatever. But in gaming, you see people from all over the place coming together, people who have never met one another, coming together to enjoy a particular game. And you see that especially in a game like Madden, which is so diverse and so, and there's a real level of camaraderie in the competition. And so I think that's what's pretty remarkable about the gaming community in general.
Yeah. And Jeff?
Games, I think for all of us watching this who play games, games are a haven for a lot of us. And it's a place that I think, a lot of us go, I think, when we, are concerned about things in life, if we want to escape. And I think that's one thing, when this tragedy struck and, we lost members of our community. And I think that's something that, speaks to all of us because we know how much games bring to us in our lives. And I know when I started playing games when I was younger, it got me through the tough times. And, even the players you guys see all the time in the competitive leagues, I mean, they are there because they're good at these games. They enjoy the games, but they also enjoy the community around it. And I think, as Kat said, it's not about what types of games we play or what platforms we play them on. Tonight, it's like we recognize the people that play games, and the fact that some of those have fallen because of this, I think, is it's tragic.
Absolutely, and you made some good points there, Jeff. And let me go ahead and ask you both, you are veterans in the gaming community. You've pretty much seen it all. Well, until this. This is something that we completely didn't expect, and it has hit the community hard. How do you think the community can come back stronger after Jacksonville?
I'll just go. I mean, it's obviously completely devastating. I mean, I was watching from home, and I was deeply moved. I was really devastated because I play a lot of Madden, and I've been part of this community in various different respects. And I mean, you saw the way that people were reacting on Twitter, on Reddit. I reached out to the Madden developers, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And it was obvious that people were in a lot of pain. But as for coming back even stronger, I mean, you could even see it just yesterday when they were talking about the players getting together in the hotel bar, there were a lot of tears being shed, but there was also laughter. I saw people coming together and giving each other hugs, but then also talking about the NFL season that's coming up really soon. And I think in this shared tragedy, people are coming back. Even now, they're really coming back together and working together to kind of rebuild from this. And I really do think that it really has shown the community what is special or what is important. And it's lent a lot of perspective. And yeah.
I think for me, what this has shown is the strength and resolve, not just of the Madden community, but the larger gaming community. And I think obviously there are larger conversations to have about how do we keep gamers safe at events and how do we all feel safe. But I think more than anything else, it's important that we keep playing and we realize that, how important games are to us in our lives and how much, for Eli, like reading that he was, playing Madden when he was 6 years old, and the sense that, this was a defining part of his life to be proud to be a gamer. And I think that's something that we all share, is that love of playing games and knowing as a community we can kind of band together and find out how we can, prevent these types of things from ever happening again.
And very much agree with you. And kind of building off of that, the term stronger together has become really prevalent right now in the community. And what do you think that means to those who love gaming?
I mean, Kat and I were talking about this before, and I think, when I was first growing up playing games, you were kind of playing them by yourself often, right? And I think maybe I'd play them with my brother or play them with, friends on a couch. But now I think what's amazing is that games have become this sort of global phenomenon, as Kat said. It's like it unites all of us, right? And I think we are stronger together because no matter where you live in the world, no matter who you're playing with, no matter who you're talking with online, I think there's a power there which is unlike any other form of entertainment out there, and that's why games, are the most compelling and immersive way to, not only entertain yourselves, and I say that just, it's more than that. It's about kind of coming together as a community and talking and having a sense of place, I think. And that's the thing that I think all of us feel, a sense of place when we play games, and especially when we meet with other gamers, both physically and virtually, because a lot of gaming is virtual. And I think what's amazing about the rise of competitive gaming and these community events is that we can all come together face to face. And I know you guys know with the players, it's like, these are guys that you saw and you played with. And that's one of the great things, I think, over the past 10 years, the emergence of these events where we can gather as a community and be together. And I think it's really important that no matter what, that we continue to do that. We continue to find ways to physically kind of, meet and be together as a community, which I think is a really powerful force.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kat, please.
I was going to say it's about shared experiences. I've been in many different gaming groups over the years, and in these gaming groups, these total strangers are coming together and playing these games together and making up stories and creating dumb characters, and years later go, remember that game of Madden that you were playing and how crazy it was, and all the weird Photoshops we were doing and the memes that kind of developed out of it. And that to me is kind of the stronger together thing. And I have a lot of friends who play World of Warcraft, for example, and they talk about still being in their guilds years later, decades later, coming together. These are the kinds of friendships that are incredible. And you just don't see replicated that often. I think in that respect, games really, truly bring people together.
Yeah, the bonds are undeniable. And I think moments like this, like you said, where we can come together really just proves that. Kat, you've actually been to some of these events since the tragedy in Jacksonville happened. What have you noticed in terms of just how the community at large is responding, and maybe an event like PAX as opposed to a more esports specific event? What are the differences you've seen there?
I think that gamers are kind of carrying on, as it were, and unfortunately, we just as a community have to pick up the pieces and keep going. And one of the great things about games is that it's really cathartic. Jeff was saying earlier that they can be a haven, and I think that at PAX, you saw people coming together, playing games, talking about games. In that respect, like, you don't have to dwell upon the pain as much. I mean, you can remember the people who died, and you can appreciate that. But at the same time, there's a moment where you can also kind of come together over these games. And that's what I was seeing definitely at PAX West and everything.
And I think it's really important that you know, there's that sense of kinship amongst gamers because, you know, when I was growing up, it's like it wasn't always the cool thing to do to play video games. And games still today in society are very misunderstood about their role and what they mean to players. And I think that's what I think has happened here is that everyone said, hey, at the end of the day, we love our hobby, our passion, and it's about more than just what you see on the screen. It's about the people that you play games with, the people that make the games, right? And, you know, you think of the developers at Tiburon that worked on Madden and how this affects them, and it's just, you know, it reverberates in so many different directions. And I think no matter what, though, over this past week at PAX or other events, we've heard gamers talking about this and saying that if we unite together, we can find ways to take action. So, you know, we remember not only what happened in Jacksonville, but we take steps moving forward so these types of things can never happen again. And that's where, you know, my head goes is sort of like when a moment like this happens is like, what are we as an industry, what are we doing to be able to remember what happened, but also to build on it, to understand, and to make sure that something like this can never happen to a fellow gamer again.
Absolutely, and to that point, please contribute whatever you can, reach out to people, check in on your friends, check in on people who you think may be struggling. It goes such a long way. Kat and Jeff, we want to thank you guys for both being here. Your experience, your thoughts really, really mean a lot, so thank you. Right now, and Adrian, I'm sure you feel...
Yes, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, here are Rico Williams and Scott Cole now with a tribute to the heroes.
Thank you so much, Dave. And I tell you what, Rico, we've called a lot of Madden over the last couple of decades, played a lot of Madden in the last couple of decades, but the last 10 days has been something else.
Yeah, Scott, it's been really tough on the community, but it's also brought the best of the community out. You've seen everybody come together, regardless of where they lived, what role they played, who they knew, and everybody just wanted to help. Everybody just wanted to come together and see what we can do to try to put ourselves back together.
Yeah, we mentioned all the other communities that have joined in and just shown love. I was wearing Madden stuff through the airport traveling over the last couple of days, and people just came out and said, man, we love those guys. I have a brother that plays Madden. You know, everybody knows somebody who plays Madden and was touched by what happened down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, people have been reaching out on social media trying to find out what they can do, how they can help, and come around. Now, when I saw the community, we had people who played League of Legends, World of Warcraft, everybody reaching out like, hey, what can we do? We can't believe this happened. Somebody has come in and hurt our family. We need to put this back together and stay strong.
You know, we got to know a lot of these guys. When you talk about True and Spot Me, we've seen them when they win. We've also seen them when they lost. We broke bread with them. We've been in the hotel with them. Can you tell me about True Boy for you?
When it comes to me, I think about True Boy, I think about his growth and his potential and what he wanted to be. Every time he played, they weren't listening to music all the time. He was listening to motivational talks. He wanted to be the best version of himself he could be, and he was working towards it. He made friends with everybody, and as you all know, he had the best run stick in the world. Yeah. People looked up to him, and all he did was try to help them and bring him along.
Yeah, you had some of the best players in Madden say, I wish I could run the ball like True. On the other side, Spot Me Please, he threw people open. I mean, he probably had the best dots I've ever seen in all of Madden. And these are two guys that really have impacted us in just what we get to do a couple times a year. It's been just a complete honor to be a part of this Madden community.
It's an honor and a privilege. And in regards to Spot Me, I like to refer to him as Mr. Congeniality. There was nobody who had a bad word to say about him. Everybody said, you know what? They rooted for Spot Me to win, even sometimes when they were playing. When people lost to Spot Me, they were like, you know what? I can't even be mad. He's a great guy, a family man. He deserved it.
We're a Madden family over here, Dave, and Rico and I don't get along every now and again. We're quite the jokesters, but this is my brother in Madden, and we love each other, and we love all those community out there, and we are Madden, Dave.
Scott, you absolutely said it. Anytime I can see your arm around Rico is a good day, but this is a bigger than that. We are Madden. We are here together as a community. Not just us, Adrian. There's actually 6 other streamers in-house today doing their thing. Such an awesome thing to see the community coming together in one physical location.
Absolutely. It's very exciting here in terms of the community and the gathering and everyone just really harmonizing, so to speak.
Yeah, well, with that, let's go check out one of those other streams right now.
bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. 2nd and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
There's no doubt about it. That's just one of the best connections in the league. Big Ben throwing it to Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown has turned himself into such a player. A low-round draft.
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Got his man, it's close for a Steelers touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers are an extra point away from taking the lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about, and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Boswell good with the extra point, and that will give him the lead here as we get on towards halftime. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Smith. Now he'll let it go deep left side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime.
The Jacksonville tragedy hasn't just affected the Madden community. And right now we've got someone from another very popular community. It's Chris Crispy Philanva, who currently plays Fortnite professionally. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And Chris, you know, you built your name in Fortnite and you excel there, but you don't play Madden necessarily. But we look around the room and we see so many titles and so many gamers from different arenas. What does that really mean to you?
I mean, just a gaming community as a whole. You know, it doesn't matter if you play Madden, if you play Fortnite, if you play RuneScape. Just gaming brings people together. And it's like events like all over the world, like PAX West and all that. It brings gamers together. You know, And gaming is that one thing that you can let loose and just enjoy yourself with friends, with family. You could come home from school, from work, from college, and just have a good time with friends. And it's like that one thing that will always bring people back.
As a gamer, for people who are maybe outside of the community, who don't really understand that social bond, that real connection that gamers make, what exactly about being in a gaming community does that? What is that bond? Is it every day talking to somebody? Is it relating to a game? For you, what is that bond? Where does that come from?
For me personally, it's just like sharing that same commonality, you know? Like you go in, you play video games, doesn't matter what game it is, but you establish friendships, you blossom those friendships, and those friendships can last a lifetime, you know? You can come home, you don't have to necessarily just play games, you can even just talk about other things, you know? Maybe what's on your mind, like if you're sad one day, you know, you came home from school, you had a long day at work, doesn't necessarily have to be video games. And it's just, the video games is like that root that just brings you together. And you can form so much more friendships just along the way of just not video games, just long, life-lasting friendships, which is what I think for as a gaming community that brings all of us together.
And I would imagine to a certain extent that it brings you to meeting people that you never would have met before, and you develop a bond and a camaraderie. And can you speak to how that has impacted your own life?
For me personally, I wasn't really the outgoing person. In school, I would be like the kid in the back, but my passion would be to play video games. And that would be even a great conversation starter for people you don't know. And that you can also establish yourself into like gaming communities that way too. And once you do that, you create more friends, you have more friendships, and it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. You can be the energetic type, you can be the sports athlete, or you could just be the kid in the back that just wants to play video games all day. There's just, the community brings and welcomes everybody, which is what I love about it.
And knowing how gaming has impacted your life, why was it so important for you to be here today?
For here, just the event in general, it's just very devastating for all of us, just as gamers. And just coming out here, just supporting the cause and just being here just really symbolizes that, you know, it doesn't matter where you are around the world. You could just be here, celebrate, watch the stream, talk to your friends. And even for the people who feels down and they want someone to talk to, just know that I'm here, just know that everyone's here to talk to you. And if there's any problems, just know that you have friends, you have people in the gaming community who are more than welcome to lend a helping hand and just help you with your problems if you have any.
Well, thank you so much for saying that, and I think that really is kind of the spirit and the vibe that we want to get forward here today, which is there's always somebody to talk to. There's always somebody who's going to relate to what you're going through. So, Crispy, thank you so much, really, for being here. It means such a great deal to us. So, really, really thank you.
No problem.
Absolutely. Right here, right now, we unite to contribute what we can in the hopes that it may do a little bit to help people here. We want to thank everyone who has been contributing to the fund. You can see your names featured here on screen. And thanks to GoFundMe, 100% of your contributions will go to the families of Elijah and Taylor, the victims, and those affected by the tragedy. All of those funds are going to them and nowhere else. There's not a magic number that we're trying to reach here tonight. This is all about us doing what we can to help others. And what everybody's done so far is so amazing, and it is so greatly appreciated. But if you can, please make a contribution. It really, really means a whole lot.
Elijah Clayton simply loved football. From the age of 5, True played the game both on the field and with a controller in his hands. Even back in high school, his teammates recognized that Elijah had a brilliant mind for the game. It was an intellect he used to climb to the top of the competitive scene. True is remembered by his friends, family, and fans as a funny, carefree person.
There's True Boy, Eli Clayton from California, the youngster, one of the best runners in all of Madden football.
You're going to see True Boy make some highlight reel plays. His stick work is nasty like that. Whoopsie, little spin move. Look at Drew bobbing and weaving, flagging around.
Tackle.
Hold the door. Hold the door.
Boy, nobody was better at holding the door than True Boy. What I respected about him was him as a person.
And it was about a year ago. You know, he really changed his attitude. He changed his whole outlook on life. Really tried to focus on more positive things and really projecting himself in a better image. You know, and just to see him really excelling and really becoming a better man was something that we were all proud of.
You give him the ball in the open field, he's gonna get sticky, icky with it. Look at the face, look at the excitement on that young man.
It was an honor to get to call his games.
Everything he did was his own. He always tried to be unique.
So it kind of intimidates you knowing that this guy can play that well. I said, man, what you've done in a short period of time, that you've actually done it in the actual competitive scene is bar none amazing. And he's like, man, don't even worry about it. I'm just another guy, just another player. Small things like that, they can mean the world to someone. It meant the world to me.
True was such a special young man. His family has specifically mentioned that your messages of support are being heard. So please continue to send your messages to his families and the victims of the Jacksonville shooting. I promise you, they will see them.
They will. They really mean so much, even if it doesn't feel like it does in the moment. Just a quick word of support or a sign of love really can make the difference for somebody. We are here now with one of the best Madden players in the world, one of the best people in this community, young Kiv. Kiv, in addition to playing with True a lot, he was your best friend, very close to him. I'm hoping maybe you can just share a story with us about True, something that brings a smile to your face when you think about your friend.
So the one story that comes to mind, he was really unique, and he played Madden weird. Like, that's what me and my friends, when we talked to him, we called him like weird, because he would just run like random stuff that you wouldn't ever think of and like do random things like that. So this was about like 2.5 years ago. It was back in Madden 16, and my boys were playing a dude online, and they were losing to him and stuff. They were getting popped by him basically. So they asked True Boy to play him. So then True Boy ended up playing him, and True Boy he was like use random teams and stuff, like teams that weren't good on Madden. So he ended up using the Packers, and the Packers that year were just not, like they weren't good on Madden at all. So he used the Packers, and it was like for a lot of money. So my boys were betting on the game too, and so he was playing this guy, and it was like a tie game, and it was like a crucial third down, like in the third quarter or something. And then True Boy ran the ball and then ended up lateraling it backwards, and the guy ended up picking it up, scooping it up, and scoring. And then so True Boy ended up coming back after the game. Like, he ended up losing the game. He ended up coming back, and he was like, I'm sorry. And we just died laughing. Like, it was so funny because that's like just something like he would do. Like, he was just unique, and he did stuff that normal people wouldn't do. Like, he did a fake field goal versus Misery in last year's Madden Championship. Right. He did a fake punt versus Ghost in the Madden 18 challenge groups. Yeah. So like he just did his own thing. Like, he rode his own wave. He did not like do anything that other people would do. Like, he was definitely different
At all times. And even as broadcasters, watching him play, it was different just to the eye. You could see that he was a different player. He had a different energy about him.
Yeah. He always, he had this way about him. And I remember interviewing at times where he would just be so chill. Yeah. And he would have executed the most crazy win, and he's just totally stoic. He had this energy, man.
Yeah, the presence, it was there.
He called it a vibe. That's what his thing was. He's like, I'm on a vibe right now.
And it was, you could feel it, he had that vibe. Yeah. And Kiv, as being a pillar of the Madden community and such a big face in it, what is the support and the rallying that everybody's done after this horrible incident? What has that meant to you as one of the faces of this community?
It's meant a lot, seeing all the support from everyone, not just the Madden community, just people around the world and stuff, this horrible tragedy that no one should ever go through. Just seeing people unify together and unite as one, and put aside their beef that they had or their differences that they've had, and just come together and realize that there's stuff outside, like there's bigger things outside of this game, and we need to come together and realize that we're all in this together, and we're all friends. So it's definitely been nice to see everyone supporting each other and everything.
Yeah, it's love, it's community. Like you said, it's bigger than the game, and it's part of the game at the same time. And it's been inspiring for us. I want to thank you so much for coming up here and sharing a little bit. And it means a whole lot, Kiv. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And right now, Scott Cole's standing by on the gaming floor. Scott?
I appreciate that, Dave. We're just hanging out here. Finally, we're getting to some gameplay, some incredible stories there from young Kiv. I'm in a game over here of Madden with 2 minutes to go. It's not really a game right now. Why don't you tell the folks out there where you're coming in from, who you're known as, what kind of games you play?
Yeah, it's a slaughter right now. I'm Lasercorn. I am not known for my sports games. I play a lot of sillier games, totally accurate battlegrounds, gang beasts, stuff like that. And yeah, Game Over Greggy is just over here kicking my ass.
Yeah, he's taking it to you right now. What made you, in your heart, feel like, hey, I'm going to come out here to this Madden tribute?
You know, I just wanted to come out here and show support. You know, obviously what happened was terrible, and you know, as gamers, I just feel like no one should ever be subjected to that. We're just out here to play and have fun, you know. So I just want to show support and that we can, you know, get together and, you know, just play and have fun.
Down 22-0 right now. I'm not sure you're having as much fun as this guy over here. Why don't you introduce everybody to who you are and what you're doing out here?
Hey everybody, it's me, Greg Miller from Kinda Funny, and right now I'm taking Lasercorn to the woodshed.
And I noticed that you picked the Chicago Bears, which is near and dear to my heart as a Walter Payton hero kind of guy, my idol. What made you choose the Bears?
You know, Chicagoland born and raised, DuPage County. What up, Glen Ellen? Come on, you got to get out there and represent the Bears. And this is the season we turn it all around. You know, it's been a long time coming for the Bears to get good again. This is it.
The only problem is Khalil Mack cannot catch passes. You need a little bit more of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we need more of, but what we really need is heart, and we got it right now, and we're going to do it. Wild card, I'm calling it right now.
What other games do you play besides Madden?
Oh, you know, I'm known. I got famous at IGN.com for reviewing and covering PlayStation, so right now Spider-Man on the tip of my tongue. Very excited for that to get out to the people tomorrow. I'm friends with a guy named Shirtless Spider-Man. I take a lot of photos for him, put them up on my Twitter, so it's exciting for everybody.
Well, obviously, you're besting here in a little bit of a Madden, but what if we played Overcooked 2 between y'all two? Who's taking that?
Me, 100%. You got nothing for me, Lasercorn, when it comes to Overcooked 2.
What do you think? A little Overcooked? That's in your realm. That's a silly game.
I could make it closer than this game, yes. He probably would still beat me, yeah.
Yeah, 22-0. Where I come from, that's the game's over. You run it back. You go to the kitchen, get yourself some nachos while your opponent, you know, sheds a few tears. But there's the reason you get out there and you're able to run it back. So, what had you come out to here to this Jacksonville Tribute?
How'd I come out?
No, I assume you did not walk. I'm not asking how you got here. I'm asking why, you know, why you came out.
I've been lucky enough to make a career out of video games for 12 years now, right? And the thing about Kinda Funny, the thing about everything I've ever done is community. And so to see a community like this that is so strong and has such a dedicated fan base have to deal with something this tragic, right? Like, I'm a Madden player. That's one of the reasons one of my best friends for my entire life started with Sega Genesis Madden. Like, that hits everybody. And I want to make sure that, you know, we're there to say that this is what gaming's all about.
It was a little bit easier back then. A, B, and C. That's all you had to hit to be able to find someone. So it's not turning out well here. 22-0. What can you tell me that makes you feel a little bit better? Do you need me to encourage you at this point? By the way, the hair's on fire.
Oh, hey, thank you. Yeah, the only thing that makes me feel better is the food here is delicious. I had some brisket earlier. It was really good.
All right, folks out there in the Madden community know that RG and I, he's my color commentator for Madden, we can talk about brisket for days, but they're telling me in my ear right now, don't go on a brisket monologue because I have a few of them saved. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to throw it over to my good friend on the other side of the room, Rico, who's standing by.
All right, thanks. And I'm here with greats in the Madden community. We got Toshiba Sharon, better known as Gooch, and we got my main man, Tolliver Lynch, a.k.a. Shift God Cole. Now, Gooch, you were a member of GTP, and you hung out with the New York Ballers, and we know your infamous Wild Gang and everything like that. Even though Madden is a one-on-one game most of the time when it's played, talk to us about being in part of a group or a crew in the community and brotherhood in that.
It's definitely, that's definitely one of the main points, you know what I mean, I enjoyed throughout the years, is just being a part, making networks and just being a part of a community. Like, I mean, you and I met, what's that, 15, 16 years ago, and we're still friends to this day. We still talk every day.
You got to be friends with me after the way I put hands on you with that tournament in Philly.
And we still have a bad memory to this day.
Now, as we can see here, you have a little bit of trouble stopping the run. Being a part of a crew, does that help you get run defense from other people?
I'm usually the run defense myself, but being a part of a crew is more about, you know, the brotherhood, like you said. Like, we're not only a crew, we're friends. We talk about other things. We don't really even talk about Madden anymore. Like Tweez, Bam, Wild, Tech. We all talk about different things. You got Dante. We're real deep. I'm not even going to lie. But we talk about other things other than Madden. But as far as stopping the run, I do that myself.
Now, it was kind of interesting what you said. Now, when you think about a crew or a group of friends, you think about people from your neighborhood, people you grew up with. The people you just named, tell everybody out there where they live in the country.
Well, Wild, Tweez, and Dante, they all from New Orleans. And Bam is from Cali. And then Tech is from Texas. So, yeah, we're all, and I live in Indiana personally, so we're spread out. We're definitely spread out.
And you see how Madden and the digital era we have is connected everybody, allows you to make these bonds. Do you find that sometimes you spend more time online playing with people you don't know across the country as opposed to some of your friends that you've seen and grown up with?
Nowadays, yeah. So it's definitely a way to not have to travel or leave your house. You can do it in the comfort of your own house and then just bust it up with your friends.
Gotcha. We see we have a high-scoring battle going over here, 3-0. What are you going to do to get on the board here?
I'm definitely going to score because I don't appreciate the disrespect that I'm getting. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely going to score on this drive, go up 7-3, and then we go from there. But Cole might win, but I just don't appreciate the disrespect.
He said he wants you to put some respect on his name. Former Madden Challenge winner, a great name in the community. Oh, sorry. 2 times. We want to make sure he gets all of his credit. Any chance he completes this?
This pass right here, maybe, but it's the long fight. I'm in it for the war.
All right, Gooch looking to make something happen. Oh, and just like that.
There's going to be a lot of that tonight versus Philly, Eagles.
Yes, and a heart imitates life. Now, Gooch, you've been known to run clock. In a friendly game like this, it's the second quarter, you're down 3-0. Are you maximizing your possessions early?
He probably won't see this ball again.
First downs for that to happen.
Now, one of the things that I loved about being a part of a crew and the camaraderie and everything was like, let's say I was playing Gooch back in the day and I was having trouble stopping something he did. One of my buddies, Big Ron or Tay, would be watching the game, halftime. Hey, Rico, the flat's open like this. You got to put that DN in the spot. Come on over and do that. Do you find that you're able to now bounce off ideas of other people and really make yourself the best Madden player you could?
Yeah, that's a big thing nowadays because the community is so big. Having a group, you got to have a group. Nobody's doing it by themselves because everybody sees the game differently. There's clock managements, there's defensive players, offensive players, and there's guys who do everything equally well. But whatever your weakness is, you find it in your brother and they help you up.
And listening to what Cole had to say, have you found that life is actually like that too? There have been times when I've been down, you've been down, Brown, other people, you reach out, you reach to your brother and you say, hey, help me out here. Let me bounce some things off of you. What would you do if you were in this type of situation? Oh, that's what he would do, is get sacked. I don't want him to blame me for that one.
Yeah, I mean, Madden definitely imitates life. You know what I mean? You learn from your mistakes, you learn from tough problems, tough situations, and you adjust. And, you know what I mean? If you got friends, you got a support system, definitely makes it easier for you. And you know, it's great. I met Cole online a few months ago, actually. And yeah, I'm talking while I'm running the clock. If y'all, you know, yeah. And I bought myself about 30 seconds, and I'm going to punt now.
That old school strategy, huh?
Yeah. He was in a little sentimental moment, but yeah. I met Cole a few months ago, and we kicked it off, and he's just a good dude. And we talked and communicated in Jacksonville and here, and it's just a continuous relationship that grows. And you and I are evidence of that relationship. And you know, I enjoy building relationships with all these young guys.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let me bring Gooch back one time, mind you. He had a tough offense. I'm talking about he had these Dolphins doing some great things back in the day. But there was one thing he was missing, a good corner route. And you know, when playing Madden, you need a good corner route. I was able to fly that corner route into him. It was so beautiful. He mixed that with his game.
He hasn't let me live it down yet.
But that's what it's about. And he wound up going on to win. And I felt just as happy for him as I was. We were out there in Miami having a great time. Talk about some of the places that you've got to go with Madden and your friends because of these doors that have been open for you.
I've been all over the country for Madden. I'm not even going to lie. Half of the places I've been, about 75% of them is because of Madden. Without Madden, you know, I probably don't see a lot of places. And I don't meet a lot of people. Like people I call my brothers nowadays. Like Gooch said, we was cool online and everything like that, but it grew to a whole different level after Jacksonville. Because last time I was sitting next to Gooch, shots rang out. Now we back, showing, you know, not unscathed. I mean, we're hit. I got hit a couple times, but we still brothers. We still here. It's gonna take a lot more to take us out. No matter what happens, we're gonna get back up. He just made True Boy and Spot Me immortal. We're gonna fight regardless.
And that's what it's all about. It's really about the brotherhood. It's about coming together, and it's about winning, but winning in life. I know you guys are playing on the PlayStation right now, but I feel like the Madden community is Nintendo. It's a lot of we and a lot of us. All right, but enough of this game. It looks like Gooch is about to run the clock out on you and take it into the second half. I'm going to go ahead and toss it to Dave and see what he's looking at.
Rico, thank you, and thank you to Cole and Gooch as well for being here, playing, sharing your thoughts. It means a whole lot. And today we've been talking a lot about physical injuries, but there were over 100 people in that venue in Jacksonville that day. These people may not have been injured, but each of them carries with them some effect from the attack. And the fact is, you didn't have to be there to be affected by this.
You're absolutely right, Dave. You know, I'm no expert, but, you know, step one here has got to be checking in on your loved ones and your friends. You know, just see how they're doing. Show some compassion.
A lot of our focus here today has been about grieving, but we need to talk a little bit about how we deal with other feelings people might be experiencing, you know, like anger or stress, or if you're hurting in a different way, talk about it.
Yep. And, you know, and so here's the deal. If you're feeling any of these things, you can reach out for help, and you can reach out to help.
Yeah, there are a lot of options for help. You should find the one that is right for you, but we just wanted to provide a couple of places to start, which is the Crisis Call Center and the Crisis Text Line. We've got those numbers listed below. Also wanted to mention that you can contribute up to 2 months after this event. It is going to be open and ongoing. We really appreciate it. And when I say we, I mean the community, because it goes such a long way and it makes such a huge difference to the victims and the families of those victims. Adrian, right now we're going to pop back in to another in-house stream that we have here at the Jacksonville Tribute. Let's go check it out.
As they've got things rolling on this drive.
She really did, bro. She really did.
Crap, we got pretty far. Oh, okay.
Into the red zone, it's Brady.
Yes! I don't know how to run now.
Yo! If he don't get him,
let's
get him. What are you doing?
Let's go.
Hey.
Oh, that was
got
high.
some moves.
Wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, winding that margin a bit further.
Sorry.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance
The
to play
rage.
before this one is
The
over.
rage.
I was so
The rage
close.
emote. I'm sorry.
I gotta stop panicking.
Santos now to add the
So I'm assuming right trigger's run, right?
It is?
I think. I don't know. I just was holding that down and I seem to be going pretty fast.
That's probably what it is.
Santos
I definitely
with the extra
wasn't holding
point,
that.
And the lead is now 24.
Yeah, I'm in.
I just want to point out we're also playing on rookie difficulty.
Getting the interception.
So there's
Navigating his
that.
way into the end zone for the touchdown.
So I feel like we're doing stuff, but I feel like if we were to throw it in, like, we'd be thrown to the wolves if we tried anything else.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone.
Get her!
Shifts by him. And all that work, but
That
he
was a good
stopped
juke,
where he
though.
ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now we spotlight the Jets defense.
They're so wet.
It's raining.
I know. It's shimmering.
Water
I
all
love
over
it.
their bodies.
Their bodies.
So Brady and the Pats take over
I don't know what I
first
just
and
played.
10 at their 25-yard line.
Defense.
Now Brady to try again after the pick six.
If he don't catch that
He was
just up in his face. I said, what is this? What game am I playing?
Bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
That's so funny.
I'm an uppercut now.
You're a nice guy. That was kind of
This is
savage.
crazy.
But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Is that a thing? I think I can game. I don't even know.
On play action, now Brady.
Can he catch it?
And
Catch the ball.
incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball.
I may or may not have
And
pushed
brings
him.
up 3rd down.
He was ready too. He was like,
We saw this a lot in the first
Oh
half,
my
and it
goodness.
continues.
Look,
These
he over there
receivers just
cursing.
not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another
Oh yeah,
incomplete pass.
New England Patriots. Yeah.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And now here's another interception. Picked
I
up
keep
by the
losing the
linebacker,
ball.
Jordan Jenkins.
Yes.
Receiver there, Allen. The interception
Everything's
rolls, they
getting
just continue to
intercepted.
mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be.
Oh, I like
thinking
their
there's something
shoes.
between the ears.
The red at the bottom.
Does occur
Red bottom.
once you start getting those numbers up
Those
there
are
a little
cute
bit.
shoes.
But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's
Oh,
fault.
that's us.
Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though.
I was like, what is that yelling sound?
Oh no, we get slap drag. They're gonna hear
Let's
me get
go.
And he's going to get
Oh,
this
oh,
inside
shoot,
the
okay.
30. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet first down.
All right, we got this. We got this.
McCann now on first down. And he's going to
What happened?
down. They sack him back right around the 30.
Feeling himself.
I think it's obvious that we don't know what we're doing. I think it's pretty obvious.
Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something
All right,
in a
we got
3-4 you don't
Getting
normally
slap-drag,
get
y'all.
because the
Now,
Companies like GameStop and individuals like Dan Meacham and Jennifer Voss, you've all made contributions so far here today. So on behalf of those affected by what happened in Jacksonville, sincerely thank you. If you are able to make a contribution to support the victims, please, please do so. Honest, humble, and friendly were some of the words people use when they describe Taylor Robertson. In the Madden community, the diehard Titans fan was known for his talent on the offensive side of the ball. More importantly, he always talked about Holly and Reed. And you know that at home, Taylor was a dedicated father and a loving husband. We have all lost a quiet champion, but a genuinely sweet man.
He's a seasoned pro now.
We'll see.
Botany, please, opens up this tournament with the first score.
You know, he was a Madden champion, and you would never know it if you talked to him. One of the few people that, you know, never really talked about himself and always tried to up you and say how good you were.
The 10, give that man 6.
He was one of the first elite guys that ever gave me a chance to, you know, play or have any type of labbing opportunity to play against the elites. And he's the type of person that would sit down with you and break down anything for you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he was like one of the nicest guys in the world.
Can he get on his horse? Touchdown, Spotney, please. We're in for a game.
I just want to say, this man, I have the most respect for him. He has a full-time job, he's got a family, he's got a kid, and he's still able to be one of the best players in the world.
And if you play Madden, you know that you need to use the best team. He was so loyal to the Titans. I would use the Niners at the time, which was the best game. He would beat me with the Titans, who were terrible. I can honestly say, even in real life, that's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Ingram laid out and got a touchdown. Maybe the catch of the season.
To me, Taylor was like the real guy I would look up to because he was just so humble. And even after he wins a championship, he's still as humble as ever. And that's just someone I really do look up to.
You deserve this belt. Carry this home to your wife and kid as the first ever Madden Classic champion.
Adrian, such an incredible guy. The outpouring of support on social media from not just the Madden community, but all communities has really, really kind of spoken volumes, I think.
Incredible, you know, and he was just so patient, humble, kind, and so good at what he did, you know? And I love how you had mentioned earlier, speaking of Holly and Reed, oh man, always he spoke of them.
Yeah, nonstop. Well, you can see here some of the posts that we saw from the Madden community. Guys who competed against him, saw him at his most intense as a competitor, but like we heard in that little tribute, always just such a stand-up guy, such a humble person, so family-focused. And now we're actually going to bring in a couple of people who really know him, who competed against him at the highest level, and are also two of the biggest faces in Madden, Michael Skimbo, Drini Joka. First of all, guys, thank you guys for being here. It means a lot, I think, to everybody within the Madden community, but also the gaming community at large. So thank you guys. Before I ask you guys anything, we'll start with you, Skim. Just maybe a thought about Spot Me. You know, what kind of guy he was and what kind of impact he had on you.
Yeah, I've known Taylor literally since the jump. Madden 13, like 5 years ago, whatever it was, I met him online, and then through this MCS era, we've met in person. And I said in an interview, you know, I've had a lot of success, and you know, I made some enemies, some friends, and someone I could always count on to talk to was Taylor. He was always genuine. He would never say, and the thing is, I've never heard him say a bad word about anyone. And it's crazy to me, you know, what happened. But I always loved him, and you know, I just know he was a great person.
Well, he knew him for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But you know, I started to talk to him 2 years ago when I was 17. That's when I began coming into the Madden community. But you know, every time I needed anything, you know, I would just go to him. I'd ask him a question. He'd just answer no matter what. Like if Madden help, it was like anything, YouTube, Twitch, something. Like I'll just ask him anything, and he would help out. So like it was just like he's one of the nicest people that I've ever talked to. Like not even only in the Madden community, just I've ever talked to. And yeah, like he'll be missed for real.
I think, you know, the term hero gets thrown around a lot. We mentioned that at the top. Taylor was truly one of the nicest people, I think, ever. I mean, really, really just a great guy. And moving on, you know, to more of your guys' experiences. You know, you guys are both competitors. You guys play Madden at the highest possible level, or winning a lot of the times feels like everything. With everything that's happened, the support that you guys have seen afterwards, Trini, I'll start with you. What do you think is the most important thing in your life right now?
Right now, I mean, like, it's just the support from my family. Like, you know, like before I was just like focused on video games, but right now I'm thinking of the bigger image. Like I'm thinking about like, you know, how like my parents, when they heard about all this, they were like just breaking down. Like it's okay, but like I'm just trying to, you know, have my family happy. I'm just trying to make my family happy right now, and that's it right now.
Yeah. Skim, what about you?
Yeah, the support's been pretty good back home, really good. Not just my family, but my friends. And, you know, I coach baseball back home, and it's like my first day I came back, those kids were just like, you know, in tears. They're just like, we're so glad you're here. Like, I just said, I'm so glad I get to see you guys again. You know, that's a real passion of mine. When I'm not on the sticks, I love coaching, I love sports. Like, if you've ever talked to me, I love sports, and I get to coach it, and so baseball. So, yeah, the support's been unreal, and, yeah, it's just, you know, it's a tough time.
It is a very tough time. And you guys being here, talking about your experience, sharing what you're going through, I think really, really means a lot. Going forward, how do you guys want to try and have a positive impact on the Madden community and on gaming kind of as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, you think about what happened, it shows that I really want to get to know everyone in this community. I felt like I always talked to a lot of people. I really want to talk to everyone now. I want to be there for anyone. Like, if something's going on, I want to be there for them. It's just, after what happened, you know, you cannot take things for granted. You just can't, because you just don't know, and it just sucks, you know, something like this happened. But, you know, it just makes me like, anytime I leave the house now, if like I'm off the phone with my parents, if I'm in a fight with them, I'm not getting off the phone until we say we love each other, because you just don't know. So that's just kind of what's been going on with me personally.
Sure. It really puts everything in perspective, like what really matters to you. And so I'm like just going day by day, trying to get better after that whole thing. So yeah, just trying to get better day by day.
Yeah, and you guys spoke about the love you get back home from your family, and there was a lot of love and support coming from worldwide in terms of being there to support you all, and also the other Jacksonville victims. And so what does that love mean to you?
I mean, having that support system behind you means the world, because, you know, like, if anything goes wrong, you know that somebody has your back, and they'll be there when you need the help. So, you know, when I get back home, I know that they are there to help me whatever I need. And I don't know about Skimbo, probably the same thing, but
yeah, I mean, again, the support's been unreal. It's been great. Even coming to this event, you know, I was questionable about it, but just talking to people that's been through it and people that haven't, they'll talk to you, they get it.
Yes.
You know, and like I said, I came here because I've known True Boy and I've known Spot Me literally since the jump, and I felt like I wasn't doing them justice if I didn't come out here and say a couple of nice things about them or just be here for this event. Those two actually meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just had to come to this event for those two. It's about them right now.
Yeah, it's very kind of you, honoring your friends.
It's so appreciated and so important, I think, to have a community where you guys can talk, be open about it, be honest about it, and get some sort of closure as we move together forward. Guys, you being here is a huge deal. Coming up here and speaking is really a big deal as well. I want to thank both of you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Both of these guys are staples within the Madden community. Let's hear from some other members about what it means to be a part of the Madden community.
The community in the gaming life is very unique. Getting into it, it's not what I expected. When I started traveling to these tournaments, I met some friends that I'll probably call them brothers for the rest of my life.
Every tournament you go to, you see people you've been playing with, labbing against for, you know, it could be years. Not only could you play online, you also get to meet these people and, you know, really create some good connections. No matter what our background is, no matter what our race is, ethnicity, whatever it may be, we all have the same passion, and that's what brings us together, and that's what gives us the fuel to, you know, have quality time together and really become a community.
More or less an escape from everyday life. It's a chance to meet new people and pretty much grow bonds with friends that you may never have had before.
Because of my Madden family, I can go to any state in this country and have somewhere to stay, or have somebody that I know will take me with open arms, and it's an honor to be a part of it.
It means competition, it means fun, it means a career. It's what I've pursued, it's what I've played, it's what I've practiced in order to make the most of myself, make friends, family, and just have a fun time doing it.
It's a strong brotherhood, plain and simple. We all love each other, before, after. It's always been a brotherhood, never been less than that.
To the next generation, let's just make sure that we keep having fun. So at the end of the day, I think the source of all games is for enjoyment. So let's not turn it into something that can be corrupted by the world. Let's enjoy the game.
You got to stay strong, because you just got to get back up on your feet and never forget about Taylor and Eli. You know, they're always going to be with me in my heart.
And millions of other gamers out there are given that opportunity to do what they love, to chase their dreams, and to do what they're passionate about. And I pray and will do all I can to see that continue.
August 26th was a long, difficult day. And I remember that morning getting up and learning the news from Rico. He gave me a call, and it was terrifying and devastating. And I, being at home, and I couldn't be there in Jacksonville, but what I could do was jump online and to see how everyone was handling the situation. And you got to see the Madden community and all communities come together and rally and support one another, to reach out, to let each other know how much we loved one another. And then also in the days that followed, the positivity that rained down, uplifting each other as we learned news about how individuals were doing, and also just reeling with our loss of True and Spot Me. We came together, and we stay together. And it's something beautiful about the Madden community and the gaming community in its entirety. And so as difficult as that day was, and as difficult as it has been since then, there is a beauty in knowing that we are stronger together, and as we move forward, that we have hope for a better tomorrow. To you, Dave and Rico.
Adrian, thank you so much for sharing. Here now we have Greg Miller, known as Game Over Greggy, on his YouTube channel. Greg, thank you so much for being here, first of all.
Oh my God, thanks for having me, guys. This is such a cool event. I mean, hats off to EA, you guys, for organizing it, making the donation, making this such a priority, you know what I mean? I think when it happened, right, the thing we all struggled with was, what do we do with this grief and this anger and this desire to do good? And I think this is such a great example of what we can do.
Yeah, well, that's appreciated. I think that really is the kind of vibe that we want to be having here today. You're an incredibly optimistic guy.
Thank you.
You're known for it, for being a happy guy. Over the last couple of weeks, which have been so trying and so difficult, what have you seen in the community, Madden, gaming, that has kind of restored your faith and shown signs for the future?
I mean, the thing that I've seen, right, is how strong gamers are. And you nailed it, right? You start with the Madden community, but it expands so quickly in the way that I think everybody has the games they enjoy, but we all enjoy video games. Yeah. Everybody knows what it's like to hold a controller. Everybody knows what it's like to be on Twitch or watch Twitch. So to see this come to us as a gaming community, the way everyone's come together to support each other, the way that we've been vocal that this event will not represent us. We are more than this. This is not what we're going to allow anyone anywhere to think that's what gaming is or that's what this is all about. And I think the conversations we are all having as a community are good, right? And things that are over needed, whether it be what's happening with gun control, whether it be what security at an event should look like, right? These are all conversations we need to have because it is something that's been real forever, but now it's on our doorstep.
Yeah, undoubtedly, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the digital age now, and people always talk about being connected, but sometimes that actually makes it hard to be connected with people. You think about like a true boy and a kid. They spent a year playing online before they even met each other. But once they met, they became best friends. Can you talk to us about how gaming facilitates that?
Oh, I mean, that's what my whole career is based on. I always tell everybody, right, that if you listen to our shows, you watch our stuff, you're my best friend. And I don't mean that in some weird marketing way. I mean that legitimately, that you know so much about my day-to-day life. You tune in, of course, to hear what I think of Spider-Man, but then I'm talking about my dog, and I'm talking about my wife, and this trip to Chicago, and this thing. And then I tend to spin my wheels when I talk. I talk about playing Madden in my bedroom with my best friend in the 7th grade, Poe. You know what I mean? Like, we all have those stories, and gaming intrinsically ties that all to it. And so when it is that we come together over shared interests, when you have someone who's in your clan, when it's somebody in our kind of funny community, right, that understands they have the same passions and the same sense of humor, that I've seen it time and time again because we're so lucky, and I see it at PAX too, but for Kind of Funny, hey, I'm going to come to San Francisco and go to a Kind of Funny Live. I'm going to go to Kind of Funny Prom. I'm going to go there not knowing anyone. And that is scary for anybody. I was nervous coming here, not knowing who I would know here. Right. But when you get these people together, like-minded individuals, you immediately find that connection. And that's why I think it is so awesome that you see now these GTA Online crews that come together for the first time and they're as close as ever. People who've played Madden for years that come together and that friendships are. People like me and my best friend Poe, who legitimately found each other through Madden in grade school, talking to each other like, wait, who do you play? Dolphins. Oh my God. No, I play. No, what are you talking? And then the fact that we still can get online now to this day with his child he has, me having a wife and a life in San Francisco versus him in Chicago, and come together. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly right. And I think for a lot of people, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but who aren't so actively in the gaming community, there is a stigma still attached to gaming, I think, in the overall kind of consciousness. What are some things, both as a community, within the community, but also looking outwards, that we can do to be positive and kind of continue to move forward?
Oh, I think it's to take if you watch this and have that feeling, if you go to PAX and have that feeling, if it's just you talking to your friends and having that feeling, it's carrying that with you, and it's sharing that. It's so easy on the internet these days to get bogged down in the bad. And I'm going to focus on this one negative comment. I know it better than anybody, right? Like, I put out 3 videos a day. And sure, there are hundreds of comments that are like, oh, great job, blah, blah. But then there's 5 that are like, this guy sucks, I hate his teeth, he's stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I got bad teeth. You know, no, like, you don't let that get in your head, right? If you see some negativity and it's not someone you can have a conversation with about, because that's the thing. There are two sides every time, right? There are so many different opinions. And if somebody wants to have a legitimate conversation with you, if they want to talk to you and express why I don't agree with you, engage. If it's somebody who just wants to say horrible, horrible things to you, mute and move on. You have better things to do with your day, and there are better people to spend your time with.
Yeah, and I know, Rico, you've seen this too on Twitter and on social media about guys within the community saying, you know what? Any past beef, anything that we had going on, it's over. You know, this is love, and this is us moving forward together.
Perspective, right?
Perspective, that's a great word for it, I think.
That's a phenomenal word for it.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, as a YouTuber, as somebody who gets to interact with people all the time, you mentioned that people will reach out to you or comment and you can interact or not. How important do you think it is to actually just physically talk about what you're going through? You know, whether it's in the context of something like After Jacksonville or just as a gamer in general.
Dude, I think that is the awesome turning point we're at right now, where so many people are feeling empowered to talk about mental health. Because it is something we haven't talked about. You know, I've been lucky enough to do this about 12 years, and it did start off very simply of, what did you think about the game? And you would talk about the game, but it's evolved into living and breathing communities. And as you see people who step up and say, well, no, I deal with depression, no, I deal with anxiety, no, I deal with bad thoughts, suicidal thoughts, it starts to pull back that curtain that no, these are things we all wrestle with in some way, shape, or form, and that there are organizations now rising up, like TakeThis.org, that you can go to and you can talk to and you can deal with.
And it's not like really a divide, but you'll see console versus PlayStation versus Xbox versus Madden versus League of Legends versus Warcraft, but that one common denominator, that one thing inside the Venn diagram that brings everybody together is gaming.
Right. And that's the thing, right? You look up, no matter what community you're in, you look up, you're under the umbrella of gaming. And it's so crazy now to see my traditional world of video game enthusiast press, whatever you call it, bleeding into dealing with my, shoutcasters in esports, a world that I know nothing about. But to meet Golden Boy, right? To hang out with these people, to have these moments where it's like, oh, okay, we find the common ground of Overcooked or Fortnite or whatever, and we have this conversation, we know each other better.
I was just going to say, it's like Crispy mentioned earlier in the stream about, I'm a Fortnite player, but reach out to me. Come talk to me. You know, I can relate to this, to any feelings you're going through. We can always talk about it.
No matter what game you play, everybody's path is the same. You get a game, you like it, you learn it, you find somebody else, you want to excel at it, you try to keep going, and that everybody can share that common path and journey.
And again, that's what I'm talking about of what's been so beautiful lately, is the way that you're having these conversations. And in the old days, it would be someone to approach me directly. But as the business gets harder and harder to run and harder and harder to talk to me, to see our audience go to our subreddit and put up, I'm having a hard time. Our Facebook group, I just got dumped. They go through these real life moments and our community flocks to them. And that's not something kind of funny is copyrighted, right? Like, that happens in the Madden community, that happens in the League community, that happens in the boards of IGN. These things are happening, and you just have to understand that it's okay to be weak, and it's okay to say, hey, there's something wrong and I need help. I guess not even weak, that's a bad way to put it. It's okay to ask for help. Vulnerable is a much better way.
It's a great time to remind everybody that if you do need help, reach out. There's always options, there's always places you can go to talk to somebody if you're grieving, if you're processing. I know, Rico, we've talked about this a lot, just as people. Sometimes things happen that take years or decades to process and get over, and it's impossible to do if you don't start talking about it.
Yeah, it's funny. I went through a traumatic experience January 22nd, 2009, which, as you can see, it stuck with me. But the funny part was it was the Madden community that helped me get through it. It was reaching out to them, finding that some of them went through the same things, how they handled it, how did they find the fortitude to get back to their regular schedule. And I'm telling you, there is strength in numbers. And when you have a lot of people giving you that same message, that same positivity, it can't help but to just uplift you.
100%. And we all have those struggles, right? That's always what I talk about. You look at what we do with Kind of Funny, and it is, oh, look at all these successes. They're doing this. They're going to the show. Like, I've publicly been divorced. I've publicly gone through cancer. Like, I've shared all of that the same way I share how great it is that I know shirtless Spider-Man. Story for another time. But I'm saying, right, that the good and the bad is there. And I think as a community and as people who are presenting themselves now, we need to be more open to presenting the bad side and being like, this is what I'm going through right now, right? You always talk about it. It's so easy to look at someone's Instagram or their Facebook, and it's the highlight reel of that person's life. these are the best moments. I don't take, when I'm grumpy, I don't take a selfie and put it on Instagram, right? It's easy to think that person's life is so much better than mine, but they're going through the same thing you are.
Yeah, and nobody would ever know that unless you share it and you really do it. And as a YouTuber, you interact with a lot of different communities. Like Rico said, this isn't about a platform or a console. How important is that kind of crossover in terms of support, in terms of everybody actually being there for people when they need them?
I mean, it's paramount, right? And I think it is telling that an event like this can happen and it can galvanize us all to where it is, okay, we can put aside, like you're talking about players putting aside their differences, right, or beef they've had through previous competitions, but it being that, okay, we can all talk to each other again as humans for a little bit before it escalates back out into whatever Xbox One, PS4 argument we need to have. But don't get me started on those PC players.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother bag of tricks right there. Greg, I want to thank you again so much for being here and offering up your thoughts.
This is amazing work. Thank you all so much for being part of it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go to one of our other 6 in-house streamers right now. Let's go check out that stream.
Looks like a champ. Yeah. Bobby. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, spread left. Green 80. Green 80.
That was bad. You got my ball. Yeah. I don't think Leonard Fournette's ever fell backwards in his life.
That was not
No.
Let's go, let's go. That was Fournette, especially like the guys running out here behind, all of a sudden he has the guy himself couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't make a push right.
Yeah, you think.
I tried to show him.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Here we go.
I'll run with the Jags next game. I ain't played one all year, except for like one practice game. Yep. Yeah.
Let's go.
Good job. the defense seems faster than offense this year to me. Well, yeah, they ain't that fast. Yeah, they ain't that fast. Oh, he's got like 80 something. Not like that.
Well, here with Rico Williams. Rico, this has been a pretty incredible day so far. The love and the support that has been shown by people within the Madden community and outside of the Madden community, it's been inspiring and it's been touching to me at least.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of people have feelings and you can see the emotion in the room, but then you see so many smiles and so many laughs as people come together because they know they have that one common purpose, and that's just to spread love and to help everybody get through this traumatic time.
And I think you see that especially even in honoring Eli and Taylor. You know, it is smiles, it is laughter. These guys were joyous individuals. They were happy guys, and they were doing what they loved. It's so awesome to kind of see everybody channeling that spirit.
Yeah, I was watching some of the free play over there earlier, and people were trying to run like True and throw people open like Spot, and you just saw that people just remembered the best of everybody, and the competition and the camaraderie, the friendship, and just the fact that we realize we're all here, we're all human, and we just need to show love.
No doubt, and on that note, it's been a pleasure being with you here today, Rico. Thank you for everything, and right now we're going to go down to Scott Cole. Scott?
Well, thanks, David and Rico. Just hanging out here. I'm here with a special guest who really was a big part of my growing up in gaming. Why don't you introduce yourself to the folks at home?
I'm Vince Sampella from Respawn.
And when you mention Respawn, we go back to the Call of Duty days, Titanfall, Medal of Honor. We talked a little bit about that back in the day. Some incredible games.
Well, thank you. That was pre-Respawn, but, you know, my heritage.
Well, hey, there's an EA tag on there at the beginning, but as you moved along, Vince, you played so many incredible games, and when you think about online gaming community, what does that mean to you as far as that family?
I mean, it's everything, right? Like, I'm a gamer, I'm a developer, I'm a father, so, I mean, my children now play games. I'm seeing that, kind of introducing them to things that I love, that they're, you know, kind of seeing new things in games that show me kind of how games are going. So it's kind of been a part of my life forever.
You know, the interesting thing on some of these newer games is that social aspect of places you can come and just hang out, and you're in the game, but you're not in the game. You know, you're not deep in a level or deep in some quest. You're actually just hanging out with your friends. You see that as a big trend in the way gaming's going?
Definitely. I think, you know, it's more fun when you can share that experience with people that you enjoy and compete against people that, you know, maybe you enjoy, maybe you don't, but, you know, it's better to play against somebody who's at your skill level, who's not the computer. So that's always more fun.
And obviously you have a lot of peers in this building, and really the industry side of it is, although sometimes you're competing against each other for game sales and things like that, really on the industry side, you guys are a big family as well.
Absolutely, we have to support each other, right? We're a small community. You know, as gamers, as developers, we have to support each other.
Vince from Respawn, appreciate you giving the time and coming out here with the Jacksonville Tribute. Over to Adrian.
Thank you, Scott. I am here with two gentlemen you may recognize, J.R. Lemon, and we've got Scott Porter here. And it's so good to have you guys here. People may recognize you from Long Shot. And, you know, being a part of the Madden community, what's it meant to you in terms of being part of the Madden game itself?
I mean, I played football for about a hot second in college, and if you would have told me I would have been in the game, you know, over a decade ago, I would have told you you're crazy. But I used to live with 3 other guys in a tiny, tiny apartment, and we used to play our franchise modes individually, and then we would, if you played my team in your franchise mode, you had to wait for me to pick up a controller and try and ruin your entire season. And it just feels like, to be that kid, but now connected worldwide to all these Madden fans, it means everything to me, and it's really been incredible.
And being part of the broader Madden community, what does that mean to you?
I mean, I think the gamer community is really it's a family.
right? And when something goes down, I think that family bonds together, and I think that's something that we've seen, you know, with this last tragedy that's happened. It really hits home for me, like, you know, I wasn't in Jacksonville, but people calling me and seeing if I was okay, seeing if I was there, that struck a chord with me because it showed me how close to home it really is. I think to be a part of this family is amazing, though.
And Scott, you know, you had mentioned to me that you saw the outpouring of love and support. What did that make you think?
It was expected. I mean, if you know anybody in this community, you know us as gamers. We unite, we rally, we support, we raise money for wonderful causes all the time. We give and give and give. We're friends, we're family. We love each other, and it was nothing less than expected to see everyone stand up for each other, support each other, reach out to each other. It was really just, on such a tragic day, very inspirational to at least see that we stay strong like that. We do.
Inspirational indeed, and us coming together in the camaraderie. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
To you, Dave.
Thank you, Adrian. In the wake of the senseless act of violence in Florida, people around the world have pulled together to support the group whose lives have been changed forever. This is the end of our live stream, but it's not the end of the Jacksonville Tribute. We're gonna keep playing here. And the streamers are gonna keep playing all weekend across community Twitch channels. QJB, KKS, and Mills Gaming TV, just to name a few. So stay tuned on Twitch and other platforms and watch your favorite streamers this weekend as they continue to support all those affected by the events on August 26th. The Jacksonville Tribute was created to honor all the victims of the Jacksonville shooting, so if you can, please contribute. And let's keep this conversation going. Let everyone know what gaming means to you with the hashtag #WhyWePlay. Thank you to everyone here tonight, to everyone watching online for your support and your passion for gaming. Thank you, and have a good night.